Hello, everyone. This is Yoko. In this channel, I will be sharing information in English that I have gathered myself, as events happening in China often don't get reported in other countries. I obtain information from multiple sources, so I would appreciate your comments on the content of the videos. If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel and providing your support. Today, I'd like to talk about earthquakes. In the first half, I will discuss the earthquake that occurred in China last month. In the latter half, I will provide information on earthquakes in Japan. Now, let's start with the earthquake that occurred in China. This earthquake happened on the night of December 18th last month, with a magnitude of 6.2. The affected region had weak buildings, leading to the collapse of many homes. As a result, over 100 deaths have been confirmed. However, accurate information from the local sources tends to be selectively disseminated, a common practice under the communist regime. Specific details are still unclear for this reason. As I mentioned in a previous video, the Xi Jinping administration claims that poverty does not exist in China. However, the region where the earthquake occurred is relatively impoverished within China. Therefore, when local images and information circulate, contradicting the narrative of poverty eradication, the information may be selectively shared or deleted. While some outside China believe that the Communist Party often lies, there are also people within China who believe in the propaganda. The affected region by the earthquake is considered relatively poor within China. Images and information from the region suggest that many houses have collapsed. However, such information, even when initially released, may later be deleted. From the perspective of Japan, the Chinese Communist Party is known for fabricating inconvenient truths about the economy. Now, let's shift our focus to a topic gaining attention in China. It involves the Canadian apparel maker Canada Goose, which offered to provide down jackets to earthquake-stricken areas. However, controversy arose when screenshots surfaced online showing these jackets being sold. The jackets, intended for the victims, were being offered for sale online at a price of 8,500 yuan. This is a significant amount, particularly in areas where monthly income is below 2,000 yuan. This situation raised suspicions, but both Canada Goose and the Shanghai Charity Foundation, the organization that received the jackets, officially denied any wrongdoing. They claimed there was no fraud, stating that the jackets had not yet been delivered locally, making the possibility of diversion unlikely. However, due to restricted information flow in China, confirming whether the jackets reach their intended recipients is challenging. Now, let's turn our attention to Japan. On January 1st, an earthquake occurred, resulting in unfortunate casualties and ongoing rescue efforts. While public officials in Japan are often criticized, those who participated in rescue operations from January 1st are working diligently. In comparison to China, where confidence is often linked to corruption, Japanese public officials seem to be carrying out their duties diligently. During such disasters, the police, fire department, self-defense forces, and other administrative staff collaborate to advance rescue operations. Therefore, families of these individuals might feel as if there is no New Year celebration this year, considering their dedication. While it's understandable to be strict about public officials' misconduct, praising and expressing gratitude to those engaging in rescue operations and providing public support in harsh conditions is crucial. In Japan, there tends to be a culture of strong criticism if public officials make mistakes, with less emphasis on praising and expressing gratitude for those who do their jobs properly. Certainly, I will appreciate criticism when necessary. Expressing gratitude for those doing a good job with phrases like thank you is perfectly fine. Personally, having observed information from China for a long time, I believe that maintaining a strong position and people working hard in difficult times in Japan is a positive aspect, especially given the prevalence of public officials in China who avoid trouble and may not be inclined to help those in need. Now, regarding the earthquakes in Japan, there's an interesting story gaining attention on the English platform Reddit. It involves a man who identifies as European and is married to a Chinese woman. This morning, he saw news about multiple earthquake and tsunami warnings issued in Japan. When he showed this information to his wife, her reaction was very good. Surprised, the husband asked how she would feel if he said something similar about earthquakes in China. In response, the Chinese wife said, "It's not the same. In essence, earthquakes in Japan and China are perceived differently, and the positive reaction to Japan's misfortune by the wife is understood because, historically, Japanese actions caused harm to many Chinese people. The story continues, with the man mentioning that some of his wife's relatives suffered during the Nazi era, and some were taken to concentration camps. However, he emphasizes that he doesn't harbor resentment towards present-day Germans. The husband suspects that his wife's negative feelings towards Japan might be influenced by Chinese education and social media. There's a possibility that China deliberately nurtures individuals with a hostile attitude, especially when facing natural disasters like earthquakes and tsunamis, where caution and awareness are crucial, and lives may be at risk. Therefore, saying very good and essentially celebrating Japan's misfortune is something many people in China seem to consider natural, indicating the prevalence of such sentiments among this group. These individuals appear to be intentionally created by the Communist Party. Of course, there are also people in China who like Japan, possibly those who watch Japanese anime or have direct interactions with Japanese people and hold a favorable view of Japan compared to China. However, these individuals represent only a small fraction of the overall population in China from the Japanese perspective. While the Japanese may not be overly cautious about the anti-Japan policies of the Communist Party, there are people in China who would find joy in disasters occurring in Japan. Furthermore, there are those who express these sentiments openly in front of their spouses. Such an atmosphere exists in China. By the way, after these Reddit posts, there are numerous comments. Reading these comments, some express surprise that they were unaware of China's engagement in anti-Japan education until after marriage. English speakers also seem to be aware of the actions of the Communist Party. In China, criticizing Japan is considered a manifestation of patriotism, and such expressions receive praise. Hence, there is an atmosphere in China where criticizing Japan is admired as a patriotic act. In conclusion, many Japanese or people from other countries should be aware of this fundamental understanding and information. That wraps up our discussion for today. Until next time.